Right, you lot, I thought it was just time I did a quick myth bust again, because the other day someone said something to me and I thought to myself, that is ridiculous, what are you on about, right? What it was is that there was a machine with a crack in the manifold, the exhaust manifold, right? There was a crack in the exhaust manifold, right? So some of the fumes, the gases, were coming out of that crack. But what it was, there was a load of black smoke coming out of the exhaust. Loads and loads of black smoke coming out of the exhaust, right? And he turned around and said to me, oh, there's a crack in the exhaust manifold, so it's causing the turbo to spool up too quickly. That's why it's smoking too much. That's why there's a lot of black smoke coming out of there. And I was like, what's that all about then? No. If there's a crack in the exhaust manifold, yeah, the turbo wouldn't be spinning as fast as it should be. It'll be spinning too slow. Depends how big the crack is. If it's a small little crack, then it won't make a lot of difference. But if the crack is big enough that a lot of the gases escape, there won't be as much of the exhaust gas going through the turbo, yeah? Because for the turbo to work, the exhaust gases go through it. I mean, I don't know whether this is gonna. I don't know whether I'm gonna better explain this. This is a picture, obviously, of my turbo when I first got it. I printed it off on. I've run out of ink in my printer, basically, but I printed it off because it's easier to try and show you. This one's the best one. So you got your turbo, yeah. This is where your exhaust manifold attaches, yeah. So your exhaust gases go in here, yeah, and then it spins around the turbine, yeah, and then you got the compressor wheel, which then sucks in the air on this side, yeah, and forces it out into your intake system, into the inlet of your engine. Now, if there's a crack, there won't be much gas going through here, so the turbo won't be spinning fast enough, yeah. It's not a case of it will be spinning too quick, yeah. That just won't happen. If there's a crack, I mean, I haven't got an exhaust manifold here to show you, that would be ideal, but let's just say that this can here is the exhaust manifold, yeah. There's a crack here, so loads of gases are coming out of here, yeah, coming out the engine's here, exhaust manifold is here, engine, exhaust, gas is coming out of here, up out of there through the crack, and not going into the inlet for the turbo, yeah. So it won't be spinning up very quickly, not as quick as it should be. Now, on this particular engine, it was an older engine, didn't have a computer on board, so it had a manual diesel pump that was just chucking in loads and loads of diesel, and because the turbo isn't spinning as quick as it should be, it's not forcing in as much air pressure as it should be for the ratio of diesel what's going in. That's why there was the black smoke. Not because it was spinning too quickly. If it was spinning too quickly, there would be less smoke because there'd be more air going in, and because there is no ECU to figure this out and to adjust the diesel accordingly, it just won't have enough diesel in and it'll be running lean. But basically, because there was a crack in the manifold, there weren't enough air getting in, enough gas getting in to put enough air in. That's why it was smoking a lot. He couldn't. I said to him, I said, no, mate, no. If there's a crack, fumes are coming out, not going in the turbo. It won't make it be spin faster. And he couldn't get that round his head. He was going, no, look, I've been in this game for 40 years, right? I know what I'm on about. And I'm like, well, it don't make sense, mate. You're off your nut. But that's the way it goes. Oh, also, by the way, turn around a little bit. I think also some people, for some reason, seem to think that fuel goes through a turbo. Fuel does not go through a turbo. The only three things will go through turbos is exhaust gas goes in there, oil feed will go in underneath somewhere. Don't think I've got an adequate picture. I haven't got an adequate picture to show the oil feed. Oh, there's a vacuum line. Oops. There's a vacuum line. You got an oil feed to oil the bearings in there, yeah. And air goes through a turbo that way. Oh, sorry, that way, not that way. That way. And then it goes around, shoots out. Fuel does not go through a turbo. Someone also said to me one day, he had a diesel truck and he wanted it to puff out a bit of black smoke, and he said, oh, I want to make sure there's enough fuel, I don't want it running lean and ruining my turbo. And I'm like, well, how is it going to ruin your turbo, dude? And he was like, well, if there's not enough fuel going through it, it won't be lubricated. I went, no, you mean oil? He went, no, diesel. I went, no, diesel don't go through a turbo, mate. If your engine's running lean, it might run hot, in which case your turbo might get hot, hotter than it should do, but it won't not lubricate it because fuel doesn't go through it. Oil goes through it. And he's like, no, diesel goes through it, mate. I know what I'm talking about. I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're off your nut. But another thing, fuel does not go through it, yeah? Oil, exhaust gas, exhaust fumes gas, and air go through a turbo. That's it. So, but back to the crazy one. The craziest one was the crack in the manifold, so therefore the turbo was spooling up too quickly. What is going on? Oh, while we're on the subject of turbos, by the way, I didn't think about, I wasn't going to add this in the video, but I watched a video the other day. It's a popular YouTube channel, I think, in America or Canada, wherever they are. What they do is they're a bunch of kids, basically, and they just whack turbos on old cars to see what's for fun. And I think what one of them done was they got what they done. I can't remember now exactly. They had an old car, and they put this old turbo on it, and they didn't hook up the oil feed yet, and they wanted to start it up to hear it spool, right? And what he done is he literally turned the key, turned the engine over, it started, and then turned it off, literally like in less than 2 seconds. And he went, oh, I heard it spool. Mate, right. Turbos, they won't spool up like that. They'll take a couple of seconds to spool up once the engine's running, yeah? Up to their idling speed. So, I don't know. That's not a big thing, but I think I just wanted to get it out there that I hear some people going on about, oh, I hear that turbo's spooling, and I'm thinking to myself, well, how can you hear it bloody spooling? They ain't even turn it on, you know? They think as soon as you turn the electrics on the car, the turbo spools up. They're like, oh, I don't want to damage my turbo, got to leave the electric on before I start the engine to warm the turbo up. You're off your nut and all. Never mind, eh? So, I just thought I'd sort of put my opinion in there on a couple of those. But yeah, as far as turbo goes, if there's a crack in the manifold, it will not be spinning too quickly. It's just common sense. It's the exhaust gas what spins the turbo, so if it's not going in the turbo, it ain't going to spin it, is it? Never mind, Dave. So that's that myth busted. Turbo myth busted.